Shoved into the steamy kitchen at my sister's wedding, I'm mistaken for staff, while violins play beyond the door. Eldrick Voss, 58, retired maritime inspector. I clutch my badge, its brass biting my palm. The clink of clam chowder bowls mocks my exile, a silent betrayal tale seniors know too well. Sigrid's laughter stings, hinting at a deeper rift I can't yet name. Why was I hidden from the hashtag Sigrid Thane 2025 spotlight? Share your own quiet family drama in the comments. Let's unravel this subtle family revenge for seniors together. The snow falls steady outside a soft curtain of white against the dusk of January 2025. I'm standing in the kitchen of the Seaside Inn, Gloucester, Massachusetts, where the air's thick with steam and the sharp tang of boiling clams. My smartwatch buzzes the screen flashing Sigrid Thane 2025, a wedding hashtag that feels like a stranger's taunt. I'm Eldrick Voss, 58, and I grip my old maritime badge, its brass edges worn smooth from years of restless fingers. The badge is all I've got left of the man I used to be, a safety inspector who kept Gloucester's fishing fleets afloat. Now, I'm here in a corner of chaos, surrounded by clattering dishes and shouting cooks, while my sister Sigrid's wedding hums beyond the swinging doors. I adjust my tie, the one I haven't worn since Mara's funeral 5 years back, and try to ignore the sweat beading on my neck. The kitchen's a furnace pots, hissing knives, chopping, and I'm out of place in my stiff suit like a buoy washed ashore. I came expecting a seat at the family table, a chance to mend the years of silence between me and Sigrid. Instead, I'm here tucked away like a forgotten net. My smartwatch buzzes again, another post, a photo of Sigrid in her white dress, radiant under chandeliers, lobster trap centerpieces glowing like tiny beacons. She's 50 younger than me, but her life's a lighthouse compared to my dim flicker. A waiter barely 20 barrels through, shoving a tray of dirty plates into my hands. "Hurry up, man, we're slammed!" he barks, not even looking at me. I freeze the tray heavy, its greasy weight pulling at my arthritic knuckles. My breath catches a cold realization sinking in. He thinks I'm staff. I'm not supposed to be here. I'm Sigrid's brother, the groom's brother-in-law, not some hired hand. I set the tray down on a steel counter, my hands trembling, and wipe them on my slacks. The badge in my pocket presses against my thigh, a reminder of who I was, who I thought I still might be. I push through the swinging doors, the noise of the reception hall hitting me like a wave. Chandeliers cast golden light over round tables draped in white linen, each one crowned with those lobster traps woven with fairy lights. The Winter Harbor jig plays a lively fiddle tune that's Gloucester's heartbeat, but it grates against my raw nerves. Guests in winter coats and scarves laugh, clink glasses of chowder-spiced cocktails, and snap photos for the hashtag. I scan the room for Sigrid, my heart thudding. She's at the head table, her blonde hair pinned up, laughing with Thane Carver, her groom, a broad-shouldered man with a fisherman's tan, and a smile too sharp for my liking. I take a step forward, my boots squeaking on the polished oak floor. The snow outside taps the windows, a faint rhythm under the music, like the sea whispering my name. I'm a ship, run aground in their world, my hull splintered, my sails torn. I came to celebrate, to bridge the gap that's grown since Dad died, since Sigrid stopped calling, since I became the brother who checks boats, and nothing more. But this kitchen exile isn't a mistake. It's a message, and it burns like salt in a wound. I weave through the tables, dodging a server with a tray of lobster rolls, my eyes locked on Sigrid. She's glowing, her dress catching the light, but her laughter falters as she spots me. Thane leans in, whispering something, his hand on her arm. I'm 10 feet away when I hear it, her voice carrying over the jig, clear as a bell. "Oh, Eldrick's pointless boat checks," she says, chuckling to a guest in a navy suit. He'd spend hours nitpicking knots while we were out catching fish. The guest laughs, and Thane joins in, his deep voice booming. "Man's a relic, Sigrid. Let him stay in the kitchen." My chest tightens, a cold weight settling where hope used to be. I'm not just sidelined. I'm a punchline. The badge in my pocket feels like a stone dragging me under. I saved lives out there, crews who'd be dead if I hadn't caught those frayed lines, those rusted hulls. I built Voss compliance from nothing, kept Gloucester's fleets safe for decades. But to Sigrid, to Thane, I'm a has-been, a shadow they've tucked away with the pots and pans. My smartwatch vibrates again. Another #Sigrid Thane 2025 post. This one a selfie of Sigrid and Thane, captioned "New Beginnings." I'm nowhere in the frame. I stand there rooted, the Winter Harbor jig swelling its fiddles, mocking my stillness. The snow outside falls harder, a white veil sealing me off from the warmth of the hall. I'm 58, retired alone since Mara's gone, and my own sister's wedding has cast me adrift. I think of the apartment waiting for me, its empty rooms, the clam chowder can I didn't bother opening for Christmas. No tree, no calls, just me, and the badge polishing it like it could bring back the man I was. I came here to belong, but I'm invisible, a ghost ship in their harbor. The swinging doors behind me creak, a cook shouting for more plates. I could go back, slip into the kitchen, let this humiliation sink me. Or I could walk to that head table, demand answers, make them see me. My fingers brush the badge, its edges grounding me. I'm not nothing. Not yet. But who decided I belong in the kitchen? Sigrid with her laughter, Thane with his smug grin, or someone else pulling strings I can't see. The jig plays on, and I take a breath, my boots ready to move, but to where I don't know. Who seated me here? The wind howls off Gloucester Harbor, rattling the panes of my apartment window. It's late December 2024. Weeks before Sigrid's wedding, and the snow's piling up outside, a gray blanket over the lobster boats bobbing in the distance. I'm Eldrick Voss, 58, sitting at a chipped formica table, in a place that's more a shell than a home. The walls are bare, save for a faded photo of Mara, her smile frozen in 1995, before the cancer took her. A can of clam chowder sits unopened on the counter, my Christmas dinner I never got around to. No tree, no lights. Just the hum of a fridge that's louder than my thoughts. My pension check came today, barely enough for rent and heat, and I shove it under a stack of bills next to a Coast Guard contacts card, a relic from when I was somebody. I pick up my phone, its screen cracked from a drop last summer. No notifications, no missed calls, just a blank lock screen staring back like a mirror. I open my messages thumb, hovering over Sigrid's name. My sister 50 getting married to Thane Carver, the big-shot fisherman who probably doesn't know I exist. I sent her a text last week, a simple, "Looking forward to the wedding, my RSVP," to an invite that felt like an afterthought. No reply. I scroll up, seeing months of one-sided texts. "Happy birthday call sometime." "You okay?" Each unanswered, a tide pulling us further apart. I'm adrift. No crew left, just me and the ghosts of what used to be. I set the phone down and reach for my maritime badge, its brass cool against my palm. It's worn smooth from years of handling a ritual that started when I founded Voss Compliance, back when I was the guy who kept Gloucester's fleets safe. I polish it with a rag, the motion automatic like casting a line into the sea. The badge gleams under the flicker of a single bulb catching the light like a buoy in a storm. I was good at my job, damn good. Caught rusted hulls, frayed nets, saved crews who'd be fish food otherwise. But retirement's stripped me bare, left me with a pension that doesn't stretch, and a sister who doesn't call. The badge is all I've got, a piece of who I was when Mara still laughed, and Sigrid still looked up to me. The phone buzzes, a faint glow cutting through the dim. My heart jumps, hoping it's Sigrid, but it's just a spam email, some app promising to track fish stocks. I swipe it away, my fingers clumsy on the tiny screen. These gadgets, smartwatches, apps, hashtags, are Sigrid's world now. Her seafood export business thriving on tech, I can't wrap my head around. I'm a relic, like the wooden dories rotting by the docks. I open my messages again, type out a text to Leora Quinn, my old Coast Guard pal turned bartender, nervous about Sigrid's wedding. Feel like I don't belong. I hesitate, thumb hovering, then hit send. The phone glows a lifeline in the dark. Outside, waves crash against the breakwater, a steady rhythm that's been Gloucester's pulse since I was a kid. I close my eyes, and I'm back in '85, Sigrid and me on Dad's boat, her pigtails bouncing as we hauled lobster traps. She'd chatter about school, I'd teach her knots, and Mara'd pack us clam chowder in a thermos. Those days are gone, sunk deep, and I'm left with this apartment, its silence louder than the waves. I think of Christmas just past No Tree, because what's the point? I ate a gas station sandwich, watched snow fall, and polished the badge, pretending it could fill the emptiness. My pensions stretched thin bills piling like driftwood, and I wonder if Sigrid even knows how close I am to losing this place. The phone rings, a jarring trill that snaps me back. It's Leora, her name lighting up the screen. I answer, my voice rough from disuse. "Hey, Leora." "Eldrick, you sound like you're at the bottom of the sea," she says, her voice warm but edged with worry. "What's this about the wedding?" "You're going right?" I lean back the chair, creaking. Don't know if I should. Sigrid hasn't answered my texts. Feels like I'm crashing. Leora sighs, and I picture her behind the bar at the Rusty Anchor, wiping glasses, her gray hair pulled back. "You're her brother, not some stranger. She needs you there, even if she's too busy to say it." I rub the badge, its edges grounding me. I'm not sure I fit in her world anymore. All those apps, hashtags, she's moved on. Bull Leora says sharp. "You kept this town's boats afloat. That's worth more than any app. But listen, I get it. My daughter hasn't called in a year. Estranged, you know? Hurts like hell, but I keep showing up. You gotta do the same." Her words hit like a wave, stirring something I haven't felt in months. Hope, maybe, or just stubbornness. Leora's estrangement mirrors mine, a shared ache that makes the loneliness less heavy. "You think Sigrid wants me there?" I ask, my voice quieter than I mean it to be. "I know she does," Leora says. "Go. Wear that suit you hate. Show her you're still Eldrick Voss, not just some guy with a badge." I glance at Mara's photo, her eyes steady like she's nodding along. The waves outside keep crashing a rhythm that says keep going. I think of the wedding, the inn, the chance to see Sigrid, maybe even Thane, who I've never met. Maybe it's not too late to bridge the gap to be more than a name on an unanswered text. I tell Leora I'll go, and she laughs, a sound like a bell buoy in fog. We hang up, and I set the badge down, its gleam a promise I'm not sure I can keep. The phone's glow fades, leaving me in the dim. I look at the Coast Guard card, its edges curling, a reminder I still have pull maybe enough to matter. The wedding's weeks away, but it feels like a horizon I'm sailing toward, unsure if it's home or a wreck. Will it reconnect us, Sigrid and me, or just show me how far I've drifted? The waves crash on, and I'm left wondering, my fingers tracing the badge, hoping for a tide to carry me back. Will the wedding reconnect? Eldrick dusk settles over Gloucester, Massachusetts. The January sky a bruise of gray as snow piles against the Seaside Inn's windows. I'm Eldrick Voss, 58, stepping into the reception hall, my boots leaving wet prints on the oak floor. The place hums with warmth. Chandeliers casting golden light over tables draped in white, each crowned with lobster trap centerpieces woven with fairy lights. Evergreen boughs hang from the rafters, their pine scent mingling with the briny tang of clam chowder wafting from a buffet. Outside, guests in heavy coats shovel paths through the snow, their laughter sharp against the wind, howling off the harbor. My smartwatch buzzes with Hashtag Sigrid Thane 2025, a wedding hashtag that feels like a door I'm not invited through. I grip my maritime badge in my pocket, its worn brass a tether to the man I used to be, hoping tonight might anchor me back to family. The hall's alive, a sea of faces I half recognize. Gloucester fishermen, seafood buyers, folks who knew me when I was Voss Compliance, not just Sigrid's brother. The Winter Harbor jig hasn't started yet, but a soft hum of violins warms the air, undercut by the clink of glasses and the squeak of boots on polished wood. I scan the room for Sigrid, my sister, 50, the bride-to-be. She's at the head table, radiant in a cream sweater dress, her blonde hair pinned up, laughing with Thane Carver, her groom. Thane's 55 broad-shouldered, his fisherman's tan stark against his white shirt. He's on a phone call, pacing his voice low but sharp. We need those vessels running, or the investors pull out. I've never met him, but I know his type. Big talk, bigger boats, and a knack for making you feel small. I take a deep breath, the pine and chowder grounding me, and head toward Sigrid. My suit feels tight, the tie a noose I haven't worn since Mara's funeral. I'm a boat unmoored in their harbor, drifting through a world that's moved on without me. Weeks ago I sat in my sparse apartment texting Sigrid about this wedding, getting no reply. I polished my badge, hoped for a chance to reconnect, but now with the snow falling and the hall buzzing, I'm not sure I belong. My smartwatch pings a weather alert, another storm rolling in, and I fumble to silence it, my fingers stiff from the cold. I'm out of place, a relic among smartphones and hashtags, my pension barely covering the gas to get here. I reach the head table, my heart thudding like a diesel engine. Sigrid spots me, her smile faltering, and I lean in for a hug. Sigrid. I say, my voice rough. You look beautiful. Her arms are stiff, the embrace quick, like she's checking a box. Eldrick, you made it? She says, her eyes darting to Thane, who's still on his call. Her voice is polite, but there's no warmth. No trace of the girl who'd haul lobster traps with me laughing under the summer sun. I want to ask about her silence, the unanswered texts, but the words stick like seaweed in my throat. Thane hangs up, his eyes narrowing as he sizes me up. You must be the brother, he says, offering a handshake that's more grip than greeting. Sigrid's told me some about you. His tone's clipped like I'm a deckhand who's wandered into the captain's quarters. I nod, forcing a smile. Good to meet you, Thane. Congrats. He doesn't reply, just turns to Sigrid, his hand on her elbow. We got investors to charm, babe. Let's not get sidetracked. I open my mouth to say something, anything, but Thane cuts me off, his voice low-edged with a fisherman's bluntness. Stay out of business talk, Eldrick. This ain't your wheelhouse. The words hit like a rogue wave, sharp and cold. I'm not just unwelcome. I'm irrelevant. My badge presses against my thigh, a reminder of the fleets I kept safe, the lives I saved. But here, I'm nothing. Sigrid doesn't meet my eyes, her fingers twisting a napkin, and I see at the same distance that's grown since Dad died, since she built her export empire, and I faded into retirement. Before I can respond, a wedding planner in a crisp blazer appears, her clipboard a shield. "Mr. Voss," she says, her smile too bright. "Your seat's this way?" She gestures toward the back, and I follow, my boots squeaking, the hall's warmth slipping away. We pass tables of laughing guests, their phones flashing for the hashtag, and I catch a glimpse of Leora Quinn at the bar pouring drinks. She nods, her gray hair catching the light, but there's no time to talk. The planner leads me through swinging doors, and I'm back in the kitchen, steamy, chaotic pots hissing, cooks shouting. "Here you go," she says, pointing to a stool by a steel counter. "Enjoy the evening." I stand there, the door swinging shut. The Winter Harbor jig now faint, muffled by the clatter of dishes. My smartwatch buzzes a photo of Sigrid and Thane captioned, "Forever starts." Now I'm not in it, not even a shadow. The badge in my pocket feels like a stone dragging me under. I'm sidelined, a has-been in my own sister's story, and it burns like salt on a raw wound. I think of my apartment, the clam chowder can, the pension check that won't stretch. I came to belong, to mend what's broken, but this kitchen's a cage and I'm locked out of their world. Thane's words echo, "Stay out of business talk," and I replay Sigrid's cold hug, her eyes flicking to him. There's something in that glance, a current I can't read, like a storm brewing beneath the surface. Was it Sigrid's choice to hide me here, to keep me from her new life? Or Thane's guarding his empire from a brother he doesn't know? The snow outside keeps falling, a white veil sealing me in, and I'm left wondering, my fingers tracing the badge, its edges sharp with questions. Was it Sigrid or Thane's choice? Dusk deepens over Gloucester, the snow swirling like a net cast across the seaside inn's windows. It's January 2025, and I'm Eldrick Voss, 58, standing in the kitchen's steamy chaos, where the clang of pots and the sharp scent of clam chowder choke the air. My smartwatch buzzes with, "Had Sigrid Thane 2025, posts each one a jab photos of my sister Sigrid, radiant, and her groom Thane, none including me." The maritime badge in my pocket is heavy, its brass edges biting into my thigh, a reminder of the inspector I was, the man who kept Gloucester's fleets safe. But here in this sweaty corner, I'm nothing, sidelined like a rusted anchor, while the wedding hums beyond the swinging doors. I'm sinking in their world, but I won't drown, not yet. The kitchen's a storm, cooks shouting, dishes clattering, but it's Thane's words from the hall that churn my gut. "Stay out of business talk." Sigrid's cold hug, her eyes flicking to him, burns worse. I came to her wedding to reconnect, to bridge the years of silence, but they've cast me out, hidden me like a frayed line. My suit, the one I wore to Mara's funeral, clings to my skin, a last splurge I couldn't afford with my pension stretched thin. I think of my apartment, the clam chowder can I didn't open for Christmas, the bills piling like driftwood. I can't afford to lose them, Sigrid, my only family, but this humiliation is a tide I can't outrun. I shove through the swinging doors, the reception hall's warmth hitting me like a rogue wave. Chandeliers flicker, casting gold over tables draped in white lobster trap centerpieces glowing with fairy light. Evergreen boughs scent the air, mingling with chowder and the faint salt of the harbor beyond. The Winter Harbor jig plays its fiddles lively, but the music grates a mockery of my churning heart. Guests in wool coats clink glasses, their phones flashing, capturing Sigrid. Thane 2025 moments I'm not part of. I spot Leora Quinn at the bar pouring drinks, her gray hair catching the light. But my eyes lock on the head table. Sigrid 50 glows in her cream dress, laughing with Thane 55, his fisherman's tan stark against his shirt. My boots squeak on the oak floor as I weave through the crowd, dodging a server with a tray of lobster rolls. The snow taps the windows, a faint pulse under the violins like the sea urging me on. I'm a ship caught in their current. My hull battered, but I've got to know why. Why am I hidden? Why does my own sister treat me like I'm nothing? I reach the head table, my heart pounding like a diesel engine, and the music falters, a violin note hanging in the air. Sigrid's eyes widen, her napkin twisting in her hands. Thane leans back, his phone still warm from his investor call, a smirk playing on his lips. Sigrid. I say, my voice rough, louder than I mean it to be. Why am I hidden in the kitchen? I'm your brother. The words echo, and the hall quiets. Guests turning their phones raised like nets, recording this shipwreck of a moment. I step closer, my badge pressing hard against my thigh. I deserve an answer. Sigrid's face flushes, her eyes darting to Thane, then back to me. Eldrick, it's just a mix-up. She stammers, her fingers fidgeting, shredding the napkin. The planner must have... Her voice cracks, and I see it, the lie in her tightening jaw, the guilt she can't hide. She's not surprised I'm here. She's embarrassed I'm not staying put. Thane chuckles a low, grating sound and leans forward, his elbows on the table. No scene, old man, he says, his voice smooth but sharp like a knife through rope. It's a wedding, not a Coast Guard inspection. Go back to your corner. His smirk widens, and a few guests laugh, their phones still rolling, the hashtag about to explode with this drama. I'm a punchline, a has-been they're filming for likes, and it's a gut punch, this fear of being forgotten, of being nothing to the sister I used to carry on my shoulders. I clench my fists, the badge's edges biting through my pocket. I'm not your staff, Thane. I say, my voice steady now, though my chest burns. And I'm not invisible, Sigrid. Not to you. I want to say more about the unanswered texts, the years of silence, the way her laughter in the kitchen cut me deeper than any storm, but the words stick. The chandeliers flicker their light, dancing on Sigrid's face, and I see a flash of something, regret, maybe, or fear, but it's gone as fast as it came. A guest coughs, breaking the silence, and the violins start again, hesitant, like they're tiptoeing around us. Sigrid smooths her dress, her hands trembling. Eldrick. Please, she says softer, but her eyes are on the crowd, not me. Let's talk later. It's my day. Her words are a plea, but they're hollow, a lighthouse beam that doesn't reach me. Thane's smirk doesn't waver, his hand resting on her arm, possessive like he's steering her away from me. I stand there, the snow tapping the jig, swelling, and feel the weight of every eye, every phone. I'm not just sidelined, I'm erased, a name scratched off their guest list. My smartwatch buzzes a new post, Sigrid and Thane smiling, captioned, "Family forever." I'm not in it, and the fear grips me cold as the harbor. I'm fading not just from this wedding, but from her life. I think of my apartment, the bills, the badge I polish to feel alive. This suit, my last splurge, feels like a lie, dressing up a man who's already gone. I could walk away, slip back to the kitchen, let their world spin on without me. But Sigrid's fidgeting. Thane's smirk. They're hiding something, a current beneath their polished surface. Is Sigrid lying to save face, to keep her perfect day? Or is it more something tied to Thane's, call his fleet, her empire? The snow keeps falling, and I'm left standing, my boots rooted, wondering what's behind her mix-up. Is Sigrid lying? The evening air bites my face as I stand by Gloucester Harbor, snow crunching under my boots. It's January 2025, and the Seaside Inn looms behind me, its chandeliers spilling golden light through frosted windows. I'm Eldrick Voss, 58, my breath fogging in the cold, the maritime badge in my pocket, a cold weight against my thigh. Lobster boats bob in the dark water, their hulls creaking, waves roaring against the breakwater like a pulse I can't shake. My smartwatch buzzes a Coast Guard contact's message flashing Captain Reese, a name from my inspector days, hinting I still have pull. Then an ad for a fishing app pops up, its sleek graphics jarring a reminder of a world I don't fit. I'm a relic cast out from Sigrid's wedding, my confrontation in the hall still burning. Her mix-up lie. Thane's smirk, they've left me adrift. But my anchor's not lost yet. The snow falls steady, dusting my coat, and I think of my apartment, the clam chowder, can the pension that won't stretch. Sigrid's cold hug. Thane's no scene. Old man, echo in my head, a storm I can't outrun. I came to her wedding to reconnect, to mend the years of unanswered texts, but they hid me in the kitchen, made me a ghost, in their #Sigrid Thane 2025 world. My fingers stiff from the cold fumble with the badge, its brass worn from years of polishing. I was Voss compliance, kept these boats safe, saved lives. Now I'm nothing, my suit, my last splurge, feeling like a lie. Footsteps crunch behind me, and I turn to see Leora Quinn, 60, her bartender apron dusted with snow-gray hair tucked under a wool cap. She's my old Coast Guard pal, the one who told me to show up tonight, and her eyes, sharp as a gull's, see right through me. "Eldrick, you look like you've been keel-hauled," she says, her voice warm but firm like a buoy in fog. "What happened in there?" I shake my head, the waves roaring louder, a motif of my churning heart. Sigrid lied. I say, my voice rough. Said it was a mix-up, me in the kitchen. Thane told me to stay out of their business. They're ashamed of me, Leora. The words hurt raw like salt on a cut. I'm sinking, the fear of being forgotten clawing at me, but I don't say it. Not yet. Leora steps closer, her boots sinking in the snow. "You're her brother, not some deckhand," she says. "Go back and talk to her. Alone. Sigrid's caught in Thane's net, but she's still your sister." Her words mirror my own hope, a flicker I thought was gone. Leora's estranged from her daughter, a pain she carries, like I carry Mara's absence, and her urging feels like a lifeline. "You showed up," she adds. "That's half the fight." I nod, my smartwatch buzzing again. Another #Sigrid Thane 2025 post. Sigrid laughing with guests. No trace of the mix-up guilt I saw. I want to believe Leora believes Sigrid might still see me, but Thane's smirk lingers, a warning I can't ignore. The waves crash, and I stand silent a moment, carved out of the storm, my eyes on the lobster boats, their masts swaying like promises. Maybe I can salvage this, find my place in Sigrid's world. My anchor's not lost, not yet. A figure moves toward us, her cream dress catching the inn's light. It's Sigrid, her face pale, her hair slipping from its pins. She stops a few feet away, snow dusting her shoulders, and her eyes meet mine, softer than in the hall. "Eldrick," she says, her voice trembling. "I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hurt you." She steps closer, her hands clasped tight. It was a mistake, the seating. "Come back inside. I'll make you a place at the family table." Her words are a beacon pulling me from the dark. I search her face, seeing the sister who once shared my thermos of chowder, and hope surges fragile but real. "You mean it?" I ask, my voice barely above the waves. She nods, her eyes wet, and for a moment I believe her believe we can stitch the years back together. "I want you there," she says. And it's enough, almost enough, to drown out Thane's jab, her earlier lie. But then I see him. Thane standing by the inn's door, his phone pressed to his ear, his glare cutting through the snow. His voice carries sharp and low. We need those vessels or we're done. He's on another investor call, his empire teetering, and his eyes lock on mine, a warning as clear as a foghorn. Stay quiet, Eldrick, he says, hanging up his voice a blade, or you'll regret it. The threat lands like a harpoon sowing doubt in Sigrid's offer. Her apology feels real, but his glare, his hand on her arm in the hall, it's a current I can't read pulling her away from me. The waves roar, the snow crunches under Sigrid's boots as she waits, her eyes pleading. Leora watches her face unreadable, a mirror of my own resolve, urging me to choose. I want to trust Sigrid to take the seat to believe I'm not forgotten. But Thane's words, his investor call, hint at something deeper, secrets tied to his fleet, maybe, or Sigrid's business, her exports riding on his boats. My smartwatch buzzes the fishing app ad flashing again, a world of apps and deals I don't understand. I'm a boat caught in their storm, and Sigrid's offer is a lifeline, but Thane's threat is an undertow, dragging me back. I nod at Sigrid, my voice steady despite the doubt. I'll come back, I say, and she smiles, relief breaking through her worry. But as she turns toward the inn, Thane's glare follows, and I wonder if her apology is hers alone. The snow falls harder, the waves keep crashing, and I'm left by the harbor, my badge cold, my hope fragile. Is Sigrid genuine, or is Thane pulling her strings, keeping me quiet for reasons I can't see? Is Sigrid genuine? Midnight cloaks, Gloucester, the snow piling high against the seaside inn's windows, a white wall sealing me inside. I'm Eldrick Voss, 58, back in the reception hall, my boots heavy on the oak floor. The chandeliers dim their golden glow, fading over tables strewn with half-eaten lobster rolls and clam chowder bowls. The Winter Harbor jig hums from the band, its fiddles softer now, a heartbeat slowing as couples bundle up in wool coats heading for their cars. My smartwatch buzzes with Sigrid Thane 2025, posts one mentioning Thane's Fleet Carver fisheries in hot water, and the words churn my gut. I'm at the family table, a seat Sigrid offered hours ago, but it feels like a trap, my maritime badge cold in my pocket, pressing like a warning. The hall's thinning out laughter replaced by murmurs, the snow outside muffling the world. Sigrid's across from me, her cream dress creased her smile, gone. Thane's beside her, his fisherman's tan stark, his phone silent after his investor call. I want to believe her apology by the harbor, her offer to make things right. But Thane's threat, stay quiet or you'll regret it, loops in my head. My anchor's slipping, and I'm adrift, the fear of being forgotten clawing deeper. I'm here but not really a ghost in their polished world. My pension-stretched life a shadow against their empire. A waiter young with a Gloucester accent clears plates nearby, his voice low as he mutters to another server. Herd Carver's boats are failing checks, rusted hulls, bad wiring. My ears prick the words, slicing through the jig like a foghorn. I lean closer, my pulse thudding, and catch more Coast Guards sniffing around. Thane's in deep. The badge in my pocket burns a reminder of my days at Voss Compliance when I'd have shut those boats down myself. I glance at Sigrid, expecting shock, but she's frozen her eyes wide, her hand gripping a glass. Shh, Sigrid hisses, her whisper sharp, cutting the waiter off. She glances at me, her face pale, and it's not surprise I see its remorse raw and unguarded. My smartwatch buzzes an app notification confirming the Gossip Carver fisheries flagged for violations. The truth hits like a squall, Sigrid knew. She knew Thane's fleet was unsafe, a danger to every crew, and she hid it. She hid me in the kitchen, not for some mix-up, but to keep me quiet, to protect Thane's business, her exports tied to his boats. She's thrown me overboard, my own sister choosing status over family, and the betrayal cuts deeper than any storm. My mind reels, a flashback crashing in. It's 1998, a Gloucester dock rain lashing my face as I inspect a sinking vessel, its hull rusted through. I shut it down, saved the crew, but the owner cursed me, said I'd ruined him. Sigrid was there, just starting her export business, begging me to look the other way, to bend the rules. I didn't, and her deal fell through. I thought I was right, but now seeing her glance, I wonder if that's when she started pulling away. The hull snaps back, the jig fading my pulse, a drum in my ears. She's thrown me overboard, cast me aside to save her empire. I'm nothing to her, a has-been inspector who could sink Thane's fleet, her lifeline. My smartwatch glows the app's data. A silent scream, violations, fines, maybe worse. I could call Captain Reese, my Coast Guard contact right now, end this. But Sigrid's eyes wet with guilt hold me back. She knew, and she chose to hide me, to silence the brother who once taught her knots, who shared her chowder. The loneliness is a weight heavier than the badge, a fear that I'm not just sidelined, but erased my life's work, a joke to her. The band plays on the jig, a cruel backdrop to my thudding heart. Couples drift out snow, crunching under their boots, leaving me with Sigrid's secret. I could expose them, let the Coast Guard tear Thane's fleet apart, drag Sigrid's exports down with it. Or I could stay quiet, swallow this betrayal, hope there's still a way back to her. My fingers brush the badge, its edges sharp, and I'm torn, a ship caught in a riptide. The snow keeps piling the hull emptier, and I'm left wondering, my watch buzzing with posts that don't see me. Ever been betrayed by family? Comment below. Will I expose them? Late evening drapes Gloucester in shadow, the snow whispering against the seaside inn's patio where I stand alone. It's January 2025, and the harbor's waves crash below, a relentless roar that matches the ache in my chest. I'm Eldrick Voss, 58, gripping my maritime badge, its brass cold and worn, a relic of the inspector I was. Lobster boats bob in the dark water, their masts swaying under the storm's weight, and the inn's lights spill faintly through frosted windows, a world I'm no longer part of. My smartwatch buzzes, a missed call from Captain Reese, my old Coast Guard contact, a lifeline I don't deserve. Another notification flashes, Gloucester cleanup tomorrow, the town rallying to clear snow, but it feels distant like everything else. I'm a ghost ship drifting unseen, my legacy erased by those I love. The patio's icy snow dusting my boots, and the cold seeps into my arthritic knuckles, a reminder of years spent on docks, checking hulls, saving lives. Inside Sigrid's wedding hums the winter harbor jig, now a faint echo laughter stinging through the glass. Her betrayal cuts deeper than the wind. She knew Thane's fleet was unsafe, hid me in the kitchen to silence me, to protect her exports, her empire. My smartwatch glows with Hat Sigrid Thane 2025, posts none mentioning me, and the hygiene of being forgotten sinks its claws in. I'm not just sidelined. I'm erased, my work a joke to her, to Thane, to this town I kept afloat. Footsteps crunch, and Leora Quinn appears, 60, her bartender apron speckled with snow, a steaming bowl of clam chowder in her hands. Her gray hair peeks from a wool cap, and her eyes sharp as a gull's. See the storm in me. Eldrick, you're freezing, she says, offering the bowl. Eat. Then tell me why you're out here instead of exposing Sigrid's game. Her voice is warm, but firm, a mirror of the resolve I've lost. Leora's my anchor, the one who urged me to come tonight, and her own pain estrangement from her daughter echoes mine. I take the chowder, its heat seeping through my gloves, but set it on the patio rail. "I can't, Leora," I say, my voice cracking. "My work's a joke to them." Sigrid Thane. They laugh at what I did. The words spill raw my inner monologue, a howl louder than the waves. I saved crews built Voss compliance from nothing but to them. I'm a has-been, a punchline in their #world. My pension's thin, my apartment empty, and Sigrid's choice to hide me proves I'm nothing, a ghost ship no one sees. Leora steps closer, snow crunching. "You're wrong," she says. "You kept this harbor alive. Those boats out there, they sail because of you. Sigrid's wrong, but you gotta show her. Call Reese, blow this open." Her words are a spark, but I'm too heavy waterlogged with pain. I shake my head, staring at the waves, their roar a motif of my unraveling. I stand silent, a scene carved from the cold snow settling on my shoulders, the badge my only tether. A voice breaks the quiet, rough and weathered. "Mr. Voss." It's a fisherman, maybe 40, his coat patched, his face lined by the sea. "Didn't expect you here," he says, stepping onto the patio. "Name's Tom Haskell. You saved my dad's crew in '98, caught a gas leak on his boat. He'd be dead without you." His words hit like a swell, stirring something I thought was gone. "My son's starting out," he adds. "Could use a mentor like you, someone who knows the ropes." I stare at him, the badge burning in my pocket, but his gratitude only deepens the ache. Sigrid doesn't care about '98, about the lives I saved. She hid me to protect Thane's rotting fleet, her laughter in the hall a blade, Eldric's pointless boat checks. The fisherman's thanks is a cruel contrast, proof my work mattered, but not to her, not to family. I'm forgotten where it hurts most, and the hygiene of this erasure is a weight I can't carry. "Thanks," I mutter, my voice hollow. "I'll think about it." Tom nods, heading back inside his boots, leaving prints I know the snow will bury. Leora watches him go, then turns to me, her eyes soft but piercing. "See, you're not invisible to everyone," she says. "But I get it, Eldrick. My daughter, she hasn't called in a year. I keep a photo like you do with Mara, hoping she'll remember me. It's a lonely thing being forgotten by the ones you love. Her estrangement mirrors mine, a shared wound that binds us, and her words crack something open. I think of Mara's photo, my apartment's silence, the clam chowder I didn't open for Christmas. Sigrid's betrayal, her choice to hide me, is just another empty inbox, another unanswered text. The waves crash, the snow whispers, and the laughter inside stings, a reminder of the world I'm locked out of. I could call Reese, expose Thane's violations, sink Sigrid's exports with them. But the pain's a chain holding me here on this patio, with Leora's chowder cooling and Tom's words fading. My smartwatch buzzes another cleanup reminder, but it's meaningless. I'm buried already, my legacy a joke to those who matter. Will this pain paralyze me, or can I find the strength to fight back? The badge is cold, the waves relentless, and I'm left wondering, my heart thudding in the dark. Ever felt your work was forgotten? Comment below, will this pain paralyze me? Midnight wraps Gloucester in a shroud, the snow thickening on the Seaside Inn's patio, where I stand, the harbor's waves a distant roar. It's January 2025, and I'm Eldrick Voss, 58. my breath fogging in the biting cold. Snow clings to my coat, a weight as heavy as the maritime badge in my pocket, its brass edges sharp with memory. My smartwatch glows Mara's photo on the screen, her 1995 smile a ghost. I can't let go. The inn's lights flicker behind me. Sigrid's wedding fading, but her betrayal hiding me to protect Thane's rotten fleet burns fresh. I'm a ghost ship, my legacy mocked, and the hygiene of being forgotten is a wound that won't close. Leora's clam chowder cools on the rail, her words echoing, expose Sigrid, fight back. But I'm paralyzed, the badge, my only anchor, and Mara's photo pulls me under. The snow falls a soft hiss, and I'm gone. Swept back to 1998, a stormy Gloucester dock. Rain lashes my face, the wind howling like a banshee. I'm 31. Voss Compliance just starting inspecting a fishing boat, its hull rusted wiring frayed. The owner, a grizzled captain, begs me to look the other way, his livelihood's at stake. Mara's there, her coat soaked, her eyes pleading. "Eldrick, let it go," she says, her voice barely above the storm. "He'll lose everything." I shake my head, my rules ironclad. "I can't, Mara. It's not safe." But later in our tiny apartment, she confesses she falsified the report, saved the captain's boat. I'm furious, but I love her, so I cover it up, bury the truth. The guilt's a knot in my gut, a wall I built between right and wrong. The patio snaps back, snow dusting my boots, the badge clinking as I shift. Leora's still here, her gray hair dusted white, her eyes searching mine. "You're not moving," she says, her voice low subtext, heavy with worry. "What's holding you, Eldrick?" I don't answer Mara's photo glowing a reminder of my failure. I was rigid, unyielding, and it cost me maybe Sigrid too. The waves crash below a motif of my unraveling, and I'm drowning in what was what is. Leora steps closer, her boots crunching. Sigrid's not just protecting Thane. She says her words careful, like casting a line. She's been resentful since '98. You shut down a boat cost her a contract, her first big export deal. She begged you to bend like Mara did, but you wouldn't. She turned to Thane after that, his risky fleet, his promises. Her revelation hits like a squall, my rigidity a wall that pushed Sigrid away. I see it now, her silence, her empire, her choice to hide me. It started when I chose rules over her dreams. My rules built walls, not just with Mara, but with Sigrid isolating me. A loneliness I carved myself. The badge feels heavier, a symbol of my pride, my failure. I think of my apartment, the clam chowder can, the pension that won't stretch. Winter fishing's all Gloucester knows, and I was its guardian, but my unyielding ways lost me family. Mara's secret, my cover-up, was a crack in my armor, a guilt I've carried for decades. Sigrid's resentment born of that lost contract drove her to Thane, to this betrayal. I'm not just forgotten. I'm the architect of my own exile, and the toxic shame looms a storm on the horizon. My smartwatch buzzes another #SigridThane 2025 post. Sigrid's smile, a knife. The snow falls harder, the storm roaring in my memory blending with the harbor's pulse. Leora's quiet, her presence, a mirror, her estrangement from her daughter echoing my rift with Sigrid. I could call Captain Reese, expose Thane's violations, sink Sigrid's exports. But did I cause this rift? My rigidity, the first stone in this wall. The badge clinks, the snow whispers, and I'm left on the patio, the past, a weight I can't shake. Did I cause the rift? Midnight presses heavy on Gloucester, the snow tapping the seaside inn's windows like a warning. I'm Eldrick Voss, 58, back in the reception hall, where chandeliers flicker casting shadows over tables littered with clam chowder bowls. The Winter Harbor jig swells from the band, its fiddles a sharp contrast to the thinning crowd couples slipping out into the storm. My smartwatch buzzes with #Sigrid Thane 2025. Posts one hinting at Sigrid's seafood exports riding on Thane's fleet, and the weight of her betrayal hiding me. To protect his unsafe boats sinks deeper. I'm a ghost ship. My badge cold in my pocket, its brass edges biting as I move toward a side room chasing answers. Sigrid's laughter, her pointless boat checks jab, and Leora's revelation, my rigidity cost Sigrid a contract in '98. Churn, in my mind a storm I can't outrun. The hall's quieter now, the band's tune carrying a mournful edge, and I spot Leora at the bar, her gray hair catching the dim light. She's wiping a glass, her face tight, and mutters, "My daughter hasn't called in years." Her estrangement mirrors my rift with Sigrid, a shared loneliness that stings. I nod, but my eyes are on Sigrid standing by the side room door, her cream dress creased, her hands clasped. She sees me, her face paling, and slips inside a silent summons. I follow the badge, pressing harder, my pulse thudding like the waves outside. The side room's small, a clutter of chairs, and a table with a lobster trap lamp, its glow faint. Snow piles against the window, muffling the jig, and the band's crescendo triggers a jolt like a foghorn in my chest. Sigrid stands by the table, her fingers twisting a napkin, her eyes wet. "Eldrick," she says, her voice trembling. "I didn't want—" She stops, the subtext heavy. She's hiding something bigger than a seating chart. I shut the door, the hall's noise fading, and step closer. My boots heavy on the creaking floor. "Sigrid." I say, my voice rough. "Why'd you put me in the kitchen?" "No more lies." The words are a line cast, and her flinch tells me I've hooked something raw. I think of my apartment, the clam chowder, can the pension that won't stretch. I came to her wedding to reconnect, but she chose Thane's empire over me, knew his fleet was failing, and silenced me to save her exports. "My rigidity in '98 pushed her away," Leora said, "but this hiding me was her choice, and I need to know why." She looks away, snow tapping the glass, her hands shaking. It wasn't a mix-up. She admits, her voice barely a whisper. "I told the planner to seat you there." The words hit like a squall, a plot twist that rips my sails. "My sister orchestrated my exclusion, not Thane, not some error. I didn't want you near the investors," she continues, tears spilling. "They know your name, Eldrick. Voss Compliance. If you heard about Thane's boats, you'd report them like you always did. My business, my exports depend on his fleet. I couldn't risk you." I stagger back, the badge burning, my smartwatch glowing with another #Sigrid Thane 2025 post, oblivious to this wreck. She cut my sails, chose her empire over me, feared I'd expose Thane's violations and sink her dreams. I'm not just forgotten. I'm a threat. My legacy, a weapon she had to neutralize. The loneliness is a vice, squeezing tighter, deepening the hygiene of being forgotten. Setting up a shame I feel coming. I think of Mara, her falsified report in '98, my cover-up, my own crack in the rules. Sigrid's fear of me, her brother, is a mirror of that guilt, but her betrayal is a fresh wound. "Why didn't you trust me?" I ask, my voice breaking subtext, screaming, "I'm your family, not your enemy." She sobs, her hands covering her face. "I didn't want to lose everything," she says. I'm sorry, Eldrick. I didn't want. Her voice trails off, and I see it guilt. Yes, but also fear, not just of me, but of Thane, his glare by the harbor, his investor calls. Her business, her life, are tied to him, and I'm the loose line that could unravel it all. The jig swells outside a cruel backdrop, and the snow taps on relentless. I could call Captain Reese, expose Thane's violations, destroy Sigrid's exports with them. My badge, my rules could end this, but her tears hold me back. She's my sister, the girl I taught knots. And this rift, partly my doing, my rigidity, hurts us both. The smartwatch buzzes a fishing economy post, and I'm torn a ship in a riptide. Will I destroy her business, or let this betrayal fester? The band plays on. Sigrid trembles, and I'm left wondering, my heart a thud in the dark. Ever been betrayed by family? Comment below. Will I destroy Sigrid's business? Past midnight. The Seaside Inn's side room feels like a tomb, snow piling against the windows. Muffling the world. It's January 2025. Gloucester, and I'm Eldrick Voss, 58, slumped in a chair, the lobster trap lamp casting a dim glow. My maritime badge sits on the table, its brass gleaming like a guilty eye. My smartwatch buzzes a Hatched Sigrid Thane 2025 post about Thane's fleet troubles, a cruel reminder of Sigrid's betrayal. She orchestrated my exclusion, hid me to protect his violations, her exports tethered to his sinking empire. I sit till the stars fade, the weight of her confession crushing me. My anchor's rusted, and I'm adrift, a ghost ship in my own life. Lyora Quinn leans against the wall, her bartender apron-stained gray hair loose, her eyes sharp as a gull's cut through my silence. Sigrid's scared of you, Eldrick, she says, her voice low, subtext, heavy. Not just now, since '98. Your rules, your rigidity. It cost her a contract, pushed her to Thane's risky deals. She resents you for it. Her words are a squall stirring the guilt I've carried since Mara's death. I was Voss compliance, unyielding, and had built walls not just with Sigrid but with everyone. My pension's thin, my apartment empty, and this loneliness, I carved it myself. I reach for the badge, its edges sharp, and my fingers brush a folded paper tucked in its case. I pull it out, the note, yellowed. Mara's handwriting trembling. I falsified the report, Eldrick. For the captain's family. Forgive me. My breath catches a flashback, crashing in 1998, our apartment rain on the windows. Mara confessed to saving a boat I'd condemned, and I covered it up, buried the truth to protect her. The guilt's a knot tying to Sigrid's resentment, my rigidity that drove her away. I was rigid with her too, refusing to bend, and it sent her to Thane to this betrayal. My anchors rusted, my rules a lie. Toxic shame floods me, a wave I can't outrun. I'm no better than Sigrid, hiding truths for love, for pride. My financial strain, bills piling, no family to lean on, stems from those walls, my refusal to compromise. I'm isolated, not just forgotten, but self-exiled, and the shame burns a fire in my bones. Lyora watches her estrangement from her daughter, a mirror, her silence urging me to face this. The snow taps, the note rustles, and the badge gleams accusing. My smartwatch glows another post about Thane's disputes, but it's meaningless. I could call Captain Reese, expose them, but this shame my fault. My walls holds me. Can I redeem myself, or am I too far gone? The side room closes in, and I'm left, the note in my hand, wondering. Can I redeem myself? Early morning claws at Gloucester, a blizzard howling outside the Seaside Inn, rattling the reception hall's windows. It's January 2025, and I'm Eldrick Voss, 58, standing in the dim glow of flickering chandeliers, the air thick with the ghost of clam chowder from scattered bowls. The hall's nearly empty tables littered with crumpled napkins, the hashed Sigrid Thane 2025 buzz, now a panic on my smartwatch, Carver. Fisheries faces shut down. Sigrid's seafood shipments tied to Thane's fleet are frozen without those boats, and the weight of her betrayal hiding me to protect his violations burns alongside Mara's note, her falsified report I covered up in '98. My maritime badge sits heavy in my pocket, its brass a reminder of my rigid rules that pushed Sigrid away, but my tide's turning, and I'm done being a ghost ship. The blizzard roars a wild beast, and phones ping with social media fallout guests whispering as they huddle by the bar. Sigrid's at the head table, her cream dress wilted, her face pale. Thane 55 looms beside her, his fisherman's tan ashen, his eyes darting to his phone. I confronted Sigrid in the side room, heard her admit she orchestrated my kitchen exile, fearing I'd expose Thane's failing fleet. Leora's words, my rigidity cost Sigrid a contract, started this rift echo, with Mara's note, my shame, a rusted anchor. But I'm not that man anymore, not the one who built walls. I'm here to act, to reclaim my place. I stride to the head table, my boots thudding on the oak floor, the badge pressing like a pulse. Sigrid Thane. I say, my voice steady, cutting through the blizzard's howl. I'm reporting your vessels to the Coast Guard. They're unsafe, rusted hulls, bad wiring. You're done. The words are a line cast, and Thane's face twists, his phone dropping to the table. Sigrid gasps, her hands clutching her dress, her exports, the heart of her empire, choking without his boats. Thane lurches forward, his shout raw. You can't do this, Voss. My crews'll lose everything, families, homes. His plea is desperate. Subtext, heavy with fear, not just for his business, but for the men who sail his boats. I see Gloucester's fishing heart. The winter hauls the lives tied to those decks, and it softens me, but not enough. You knew I say, my voice low, subtext, screaming, you chose profit over lives. You put men at risk, I won't. Sigrid's eyes well up, her voice breaking. Eldrick, please. My shipments, they'll stop. I'll lose it all. Her words hit a reminder of '98, when my rules cost her a deal, drove her to Thane's promises. My rigidity, my cover-up of Mara's report, built this rift, and the shame lingers, but I've grown. Fix the violations I offer, pacing flexible, a twist in my rigid past. I'll delay the report if you make those boats safe. But no more lies. It's a lifeline, not forgiveness, a chance for them to prove they're more than their mistakes. Thane's fists clench his shout, swallowed by the blizzard's wail. You're killing us. But his eyes flicker, a man cornered, knowing I hold the line. Sigrid's trembling, her gaze darting between us, her empire teetering. The phones ping social media, a storm of its own, and I stand firm, my tide turning, no longer the sidelined brother. This is my agency, a stand against loneliness, against being erased. The chowder's scent lingers, Gloucester's lifeblood, and I'm its guardian, not their pawn. The chandeliers flicker, the blizzard howls, and I weight the badge, my strength. Will Sigrid accept my offer, or fight to save her sinking ship? The hall holds its breath, and I'm left wondering, my heart a thud in the chaos. Ever stood up to family comment below? Will Sigrid accept pre-dawn paints? Gloucester Harbor, in soft grays, the snow settling like a quiet promise. It's January 2005, and I'm Eldrick Voss, 58, standing by the water's edge, the cold biting my face. Lobster boats gleam under the first light, their hulls steady despite the storm's fading roar. Waves lap gently, a motif of peace after the night's chaos, and gulls cry overhead, a sound as trigger that stirs something deep. My smartwatch glows with a community cleanup invite, Gloucester rallying to clear the snow, a tradition as old as the fishing heritage I'm proud of. The seaside inn looms behind its lights dim Sigrid's wedding over, but her betrayal hiding me to save Thane's fleet, and my shame over Mara's falsified report linger. The maritime badge in my pocket is warm now, a symbol of purpose reclaimed, and I'm a lighthouse guiding myself home. The harbor's calm, the snow dusting my boots, and I think of last night confronting Sigrid, reporting Thane's violations, offering a delay if he fixes them. My rigidity. Mara's secret built this rift, but I've grown chosen action over shame. My pension's thin, my apartment empty, but standing here I'm not alone, not anymore. Footsteps crunch, and Sigrid appears, her cream dress swapped for a coat, her face raw, eyes red. She stops a few feet away, snow settling on her hair, and her voice trembles. Eldrick. I'm sorry, she says, the words heavy real. I was wrong hiding you, choosing Thane's business. I was scared, but that's no excuse. Her apology is a beacon, and I nod silent, a scene carved from the dawn. The waves lap, and I see the girl who shared my chowder, not the woman who cut my sails. I hurt you too, I say, my voice steady. My rules back in '98, they cost you. I'm sorry. The admission frees me, a weight lifting, and I pull the badge from my pocket, its brass catching the light. I'm starting a mentoring program, I tell her, for young inspectors to keep these boats safe. Thane fixes his fleet, your exports can sail. Let's do this right. I hand her the badge, a gesture of trust, my legacy not in rules but in guiding others. Sigrid takes it, her fingers brushing mine, and tears spill. I want to reconnect, she vows, her voice firm, a turn toward healing. No more hiding. I believe her, the harbor's calm, a mirror of this moment reflecting the kitchen where I was sidelined, now transformed. The gulls cry louder, and I feel it, hope uplifting a tide carrying me forward. Lyora Quinn approaches, her bartender apron gone, her face softer. I'm calling my daughter today, she says, her estrangement subplot closing, mirroring my reconciliation. You inspired me, Eldrick. I smile, the first real one in years, and glance at the lobster boat's Gloucester's heart. The cleanup invite buzzes social media quiet now. Sigrid Thane 2025. Fading. My heritage fishing safety community lives in this mentoring plan, a way to fight loneliness to matter again. I head toward Lyora's bar, the rusty anchor ready to start to heal her rift too. The dawn light warms my face, the waves lap, and I'm whole, a lighthouse for others my purpose found. Ever found purpose after pain? Comment below. As the dawn light warms Gloucester Harbor, I walk toward the rusty anchor. Sigrid's promise to reconnect echoing like the gulls overhead, my badge now hers, a bridge rebuilt. Handing it over, I found not just my sister, but a purpose mentoring young inspectors to keep these boats safe, a legacy stronger than any storm. Life's like this, harbor waves may pull us apart, but love like a lighthouse always finds a way back. I learned that holding tight to pride can build walls, but forgiveness, even after years of silence, can tear them down. Offering a second chance to Sigrid, to Thane, to myself, taught me that family isn't just blood. It's the choice to show up to mend. For every hurt we carry, there's a chance to heal if we're brave enough to try. If this story touched you, share your own moment of reconnection in the comments below. Let's keep these stories alive together.